Shalom, today is August 1st, and we're in day 665 days of the war between Israel and Gaza. We still have captives held in tunnels by Hamas in Gaza. We're fighting multiple fronts, and there's a new big front that has been opening up continuously. We'll read about that in a moment, but first, let's read the headline of Yediot Achronot, and it reads, Tzomet Drachim. Tzomet Drachim means junction. Can you imagine the junction that Israel is in? I want to say this is a junction that we've been in for months and months and months. Let's see the sub-headline that they're saying. בלשכת ראש הממשלה שוקלים ברצינות להניח על השולחן הצעה. Now in English. On the table of the Prime Minister Netanyahu, they're seriously considering to put a proposal to stop the war completely in Gaza for the return of all of the hostages. Israel has been kind of holding themselves back from promising to stop the war completely. But this is where they're considering this seriously, to bring back all of the hostages. In Hebrew, בלשכת ראש הממשלה שוקלים ברצינות להניח על השולחן הצעה להפסקת הלחימה בתמורה להשבת כל החטופים. Now in English, on the table of the Prime Minister, they're seriously considering to lay a proposal to stop the war completely in Gaza so that we can get all of the hostages back. Will Hamas agree? We don't know, but we really, really, really want our hostages back. Is that the way to get them back? But there are two more options or opportunities, you can say operating ways to consider. One of them is the chief of staff that is saying, let's do targeted strikes. Let's continue with targeted strikes. So that's what Israel has been doing, targeted strikes. But there are other voices that says, no, let's actually enlarge the maneuver that we're in Gaza. Let's really say, just really enlarge our power in Gaza. What would you choose to do if you were Israel and you want your hostages back? More power, direct hits, or just completely stop the war? Can we rely on Hamas giving us back the hostages? The price of Israel will be very, very high. Not only stopping the war, but the amount of prisoners and terrorists that we'll have to, and killers and murderers that we'll have to release back into Gaza. By the way, when we do stop the war, Hamas, we know this from experience, uses this time just to gain back control, gain back training their troops, gaining back a lot of power until the next hit against Israel. And here is the 8th front, as they say. So let's count the fronts. Try to count with me. Gaza, Lebanon, which is Hezbollah, Syria, Yemen, Iran, Judea and Samaria. What's the 7th? There is a 7th, because they're calling this the 8th front, which is the international countries. It says here, Ha'olam rubo negdenu. The world is mostly against us. And the tidal wave is continuing, it says, Hamedinot sheyakiru b'medina Palestinit. These are the countries that will recognize a Palestinian state. And this is following France. Last week, Macron said, we're going to recognize a Palestinian state in September. So let's read this map. It's troubling, it's really troubling. So those who will recognize a Palestinian state in September in a very festive and formal ceremony in the UN, this is France, Portugal, Australia, Finland, New Zealand, and Malta, San Marino, Andorra, and Luxembourg. Those 9 countries will recognize a Palestinian state in September. 3 more countries said, we are waiting for it. We want to set conditions so a Palestinian state could be raised, could be recognized. And those are England, Canada, and Germany. Many of these have been friends of Israel. Like Germany has been very friendly towards Israel. What is happening? And those who are considering to join the move of recognizing a Palestinian state are 4: Belgium, Japan, Schwedia, which is Sweden, and Holland. And those who have recognized a Palestinian state in May 2024 already, that's Ireland, Norway, Spain, Slovenia, and Armenia. Those who aren't here, thank you. Thank you for not standing with a Palestinian state that will be against Israel. And according to the Palestinians, it will be instead of Israel. That's what really they want. So look, 141 countries, additional countries, will recognize still this year in a Palestinian state. So these are 12 that are joining recently. Mapolet, the big headline here is Mapolet. Mapolet, you can say, is from the word nafal, falling. Hey, interesting, nafal in Hebrew and fall is not so far, English and Hebrew. But it's where the rocks come tumbling down a mountain or a cliff. That's a mapolet. It's just tumbling down. So one country after another are tumbling down. And Israel did not expect this. It says Israel expected something else, but France started another tidal wave of countries that are falling down after her recognizing the Palestinian state. So yes, altogether, 162 countries in the world are supporting this move or considering to support this move. It also says that in Israel, besides just coming against these declarations, Israel is not really giving an alternative. Don't know what that means, because what other alternative can there be? So here is Trump in the picture, who is still standing with Israel. And here are those who are about to recognize Palestinian states: Macron, Merz, Carney, and Starmer. To the next article. This is about another soldier that's killed by suicide. Now the army, because he was a medic during reserve duty, 300 days in reserves, he was exposed to very, very hard visuals and people he had to take care of. This is since October 7th. But because he finished his 5th round of reserve duty and he killed himself afterwards, the government and the IDF are not considering him to be, they're not considering the casualty to be under the responsibility of the IDF, meaning it was a civilian casualty. But with the pressure of the family, the IDF is reconsidering, this is the chief of staff of the IDF, is reconsidering to consider this casualty as a fallen soldier. He is not the only one that's been killing himself. Many times they're announcing this on the radio and the news, and we know how many are not being announced. The post-trauma is killing many, many soldiers, and those who are not killing themselves, a lot of them are just suffering severely inside. The next article, לאתגר את Hamas, to challenge Hamas. Here in the image, we see the IDF forces in Beit Hanun in Gaza. So now it says that Netanyahu is in a junction. This is where the headline in the first page was about. Netanyahu's in a junction. What would be the best option he should take? It says, in the best case, all of the hostages will come back and the war will end. In the worst case, Hamas will decline Israel's proposal, and Hamas's refusal will be exposed, and Israel will go on a very broad and strong maneuver in Israel that will be backed up by the public and a better international stand. That's the best case. Hard to believe. The next one, the Islamic Jihad published a very hard video of Romi Slutsky. He's one of the alive hostages in Gaza. Here he is. The family allowed the media to publish just a still shot from the whole video. His mom says all of his atzamot, all of his bones are out, meaning he's very, very, very thin. He's broken. He's crying. She says, I know they beat him because Rom doesn't cry. If he cried, it's because they beat him almost to death. So Rom is in there together with 50 other hostages. And she says, let the world not cry over the children of Gaza that are under Hamas, and Hamas is taking care of all those people. Let the world cry on about Rom, that they'll have some compassion over the hostages. My little child is crying. What is this thing? What is this sever? Sever is suffering. What is this? Yeah, razeh means thin, makel means stick, like very, very thin, and boche, crying. Rom in the video that was published yesterday. So we're saying just one still video One still shot was published, but the family saw the whole video that the Islamic Jihad published. Before we move on to the next article, probably the last one for this newspaper, I want to stop to pause on this advertisement for local Israelis to come to Jerusalem and visit Jerusalem. Is this because the international tourists are not taking over Jerusalem in the summer like they usually do because of the war? Probably so. Let's read it. Hakiitz, this summer, Be'Yerushalayim, in Jerusalem, mekablim yoter. You'll receive more. You get more. So we see here a pool. We see here some fun activities, an aquarium. It says, come to Jerusalem and enjoy 20% off at least in a broad range of hotels. So they're bringing in, they're trying to attract more local Israelis, local tourists to come and enjoy Jerusalem. Usually July and August are packed with tourists. Not this year because of the war. Not last year because of the war. Israel b'milchama, Israel's at war. Chodesh shel ke'ev u'shchol, a month of pain and mourning. During the fights in Gaza and the terror attacks, 18 soldiers and 1 civilian lost their lives during the month of July. This is another bloody month of fighting that is costing a very high price. It says here, these are the faces and the names shel haharugim, of the fallen, of the killed ones. Asur lehitragel. We cannot get used to this. This is what it says in Hebrew. Lechol ish yesh shem. Every person has a name. This is, the title here. Chayalim shenaflu, the soldiers that have fallen during the month of July alone. And there is a little bit of information on each one. What did he like to do? One likes discs, one likes to collect such and such. The other one likes to travel. The other one is a good DJ. He is a very good friend. There's just endless, amazing little details that we can just connect to them a little bit more. They're all very, very young. Just a few here. Yaniv, 19 years old, was killed in Gaza. Yair, 19 years old, fell in Beit Hanun in a battle there in Gaza. Asaf from Dimona, also 19 years old, fell in Khan Yunis, which is in Gaza. Moshe, 20 years old, Moses, fell in Beit Hanun, which is in Gaza. Here's the older one, is Vladimir. He's 36 years old, lives in Ashkelon, along the beach in Israel. He fell in Rafah, which is in Gaza. So many. Here's Shalev, 22 years old. He was shot in a terror attack in a mall in a Jewish village amongst the Palestinian territories. So we'll end with that. That's it for today. Or do you want something good to end with? Yalla, let's do something good to end with. Yalla in Hebrew means let's go. Go ahead. This article says that even though this was a very dry winter and this year was a drought year, officially, it was a drought year, they are amazed by the great grapes that have been picked, the great produce of grapes. There's 10% more of produce, and they're blessing here in a way the Lord. It says here, Boreh pri hagefen, the creator of the fruit of the vine. That's in the Jewish traditional blessing that you pray on Fridays when you bless the wine. Boreh means creator. Pri hagefen is the fruit of the vine. And here they are blessing the Lord for creating the fruit of the vine, even though the year was very, very dry. They're saying, what explains this? It's not an absolute miracle. The spring was a little bit more moist. There's a little bit more rain in the spring that helped the very dry summer, but they're very pleased with the great produce of amazing grapes. And here's the vineyard of Yatir in the Negev. Yatir is a place in the Negev, which is the southern desert of Israel. Thank you, Lord, and thank you for standing with us, praying with us, supporting us. I'm Rotem Magen for the All Israel YouTube channel, broadcasting from Central Israel. I wish there's a vineyard behind me, but there isn't. There are other good fruit behind me, fruit trees. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe, share it. Thank you for standing with us.